All right, going over the markets today. These are the absolute highest daily dollar ranges I've ever seen. We're up to $26,000 from high to low on just these four markets, and the highest it had ever been in the past was 18,000. And so these are just massive, massive extreme moves. The trend intraday is choppy. There is no trend, and it's just back and forth all day. And it's very challenging markets to trade. I'm going to be making modifications to my strategies. Also want to show you gold. Alright, so this is the gold market, and this represents the monthly charts, the average. Let's look at 125. Today gold had a $125 range, and this histogram at the bottom represents the range of each month, and here is the 125 level. So most months don't trade in a $125 range. Today, gold was right at $125. The range today was $1574.80, $1450.90. So 123.9, I guess, is the range. And you see that is, I don't know if that's the biggest daily dollar range ever. But if you look at the monthly ranges, let's look at the weekly ranges. So there was a $200 range last week. There's a $200 range over here. And then if you look at the monthly, you know, you see higher monthly ranges right here. But we have not seen you know, a daily range this high. 125 again. 125 is the average daily range of the gold market, average monthly range of the gold market. Today we're right at 125. So that's how extreme this volatility is. Very hard to trade it. And to show you the results of that, we had all three strategies get stopped out on SR counter trend 2V2M gold. And you know, we need something in our strategies that says if the range is this high during the day, we're not going to trade it. I've anticipated higher volatility. I've adjusted in the past for lower volatility. I never anticipated volatility to ramp up this high this fast in all markets, and so it's extreme. And we're going to be making some adjustments. If you have the strategies, I'm going to be emailing you out today a modified version of what to trade right now during this high volatility, or to sit out and wait till we make these adjustments, because a lot of these adjustments just have us not taking a lot of these trades anyway, because you'd have to have large stops. You could trade this signal with a much larger stop. You would need a much larger stop to trade this today, but theoretically speaking, based on these ranges, you're going to need bigger, much bigger stops. So all three SR counter trend 2V2M golds were stopped out today, minus 725 each. None of the other strategies in this workspace traded. Cobra crude, violent reversal. You see this, a bigger stop would have worked here too. Closed down lower. This does exit earlier in the day at noon, but the trend remained down. You just have to be able to withstand these violent reversals or find a better entry price. And so these are just the trade signals from the SR counter trends, and so those are not actual trade signals. These were flat on the day. Cobra Gold actually was profitable, plus 575 right here on this trade. And SR counter trend, you know, it was short up here. It was shorting up here at this area, and that $800 stop loss is just like a little blip. It looks like just a few ticks. It's like you're trading with a 3-tick stop loss on these charts because the ranges are so big, and so that's the issue. So good short here, really good setup. You know, the setup is good. The stop is just too tight, and so there's just two trades in this workspace. So this workspace, plus 575 Cobra Gold, minus 725 of Cobra Crude Aggressive. And in this workspace, there are, let's see, SR counter trend 2 Gold, minus 825. Asia Gold 4 did a good job, plus 450. This is a variation of Gold Flash that I'm working on, plus 2325. It expands it widens out the bands. I just don't really want to trade this much anyways. This is a lot of signals, and so I'm going to be updating this strategy. I'm going to go back to the strategy that I recommended.
So here is the updated gold version, max daily entries of 3, and so put the old parameters back. I'll have an update for this as well. Minus 150 on the day. So Asia Gold short was the highlight of the day. No trades here. Cobra Euro 4. It's one of our Euro currency strategies. Euro currency could be a good market to trade right now. Cobra Euro is one of our favorite strategies. It has not traded in a long time. It has a nice equity curve, and there is more volatility, and the order book is still good in the Euro. So Cobra Euro 2 is a good strategy to take a look at. I'll also go back and look at my old Euro Surge. I have an old strategy called Euro Surge I need to look at. Stock Index Portfolio 2, going backwards today. Not a lot of trades. The one that we had were not, we didn't like too much. So tick count trend 2 NQ minus 165. Shorted into this rally, shorted there. Some of these we just need bigger profit targets. We talk about bigger stops. We need bigger profit targets too. Those create bigger, larger volatility in your account, or we can just say, hey, don't trade when range is this high or VIX is this high. Let's just don't trade. And so those are some considerations to make. QS3, you know, it's an $800 stop loss. It's just a blip on the screen. And so I've already written a filter for this. We're not trading QS3 if the market opens down here more than 4%. We don't want to get slammed into the limit down and get stuck there. And so we're going to be looking at that scenario as well. And this is true for a lot of strategies. I've got to go in and add a filter to say don't trade if it's more than 4% down. Asia Gold 4 or Asia 4 E-mini S&P. This had a huge stop loss, but it was not. You shouldn't have been able to actually trade this strategy. So the limit down move in this case went in our favor because you couldn't trade this strategy. So you just turned the automation off. The order was rejected, and so you missed out on a minus $2,700 trade because of the limit down. You can't. When it's limit down, it's lock limit down, and you can't trade. So if you get a buy signal there, you just turn your strategy off so you don't get that stop loss there. And if you had this stop loss, you would have had a little bit of a chance. If you had accidental stop loss, depending on where you got filled, you had a little bit of a chance to actually say, oh, I should have turned that off, I should exit. And so you had maybe a potential opportunity to cover your short for a little bit of a profit. So, and then let's look at tick pulse, or 60-minute breakout also traded. So this market just looks funny, you know. It looks, it's these dotted lines that go across here, these dotted lines here. It's not a normal market. Had one winner, one loser on this, minus $50 today on NQ breakout. Tick pulse NQ minus 1250, shorted into that rally. These huge counter trend rallies are a bit frustrating, from low 72.05 all the way up to 73.88. You know, you're almost a 200-point counter trend rally in the Nasdaq. That's just, I mean, that's just a lot. It's a lot too. You need a $4,000 stop loss to ride that out, and that doesn't even look that big. So, you know, once again, we need to take a look at just not trading when the ranges are that high. Unprecedented limit moves and ranges, daily dollar ranges off the charts. What have we not covered on this page? We've covered everything on this page. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it didn't do terrible. You know, most of these strategies, QS3 minus 835, tick pulse NQ minus 1255, and then Asia 4. You shouldn't have been able to take that anyway. So that was the worst trade. And so some of these situations are going in our favor, and some of them are going against us. And so Mirror went against us this morning. This was a bad trade. Buying the limit down, able to buy the limit down, and got locked and then got stopped out here with slippage. So big loss there. Minus 28.25 instead of a $500 stop loss. I'm going to rewrite this so that it will not take a entry if it's more, if the market is down more than 4%. We're not going to take that trade. And Cobra 3, E-mini S&P, $600 stop loss is just a blip on the radar screen. And you see this counter trend rally on the ES from low 24.25 to 24.89. That is 65 points. $3,200. You need about $3,500 stop loss to hold these, or wait for more of a counter trend rally. We were starting to get some orders in here to short this, but it didn't bounce high enough, and then when we got in, it bounced really high. So sometimes that happens. Frustrating to see when that happens for sure. Same in the E-mini Nasdaq. There are opportunities. We're waiting for a rally to short it. Finally got a rally, and it was a big rally. and got stopped out. So it's one of those days, minus 625, one of those days where everything went against us pretty much. And then tick pulse V12 NQ, same thing, or ES, same thing as NQ, minus 1252 trades in a row. And the adaptive moving average was hanging in there. Set up to go short. Set up to go short right here, and the close were doing well. And they had this reversal bar right here, got us long, and then slammed and stopped out. And so, very frustrating to see that. It did well on its rebound. This adaptive moving average has done well into the close. It did well into the close on Wednesday, Thursday, and then definitely on Friday last week. It did well into the close. We were set up to do well in the close today, and it just reversed here at the last minute. And this bounce, it bounced almost 50 S&P points right there on this bar. And so we have the adaptive moving average, the modified adaptive moving average. It is right here, and it took one trade today. It was stopped out as well, minus 2,000 on that. So those are the trades on the day. Anything else? Those are all the trades that we have going. No SR counter trends on the stock indexes. So tough trading day. And I'm going to call for a pause right now and do the 25K portfolio instead. That has been a highlight. Here is the 25K portfolio, and it has traded. It took the Cobra 3 trade today. It was minus 625. It closed up. It was up. It's up 20K on the year before today, down 600 today, and it trades just 10 strategies. It doesn't trade very much. Today I only traded once, and so while I put these volatility filters on, trade less. You don't need as much with this volatility. Cobra 3 has some tight stops, but it can get in on some big moves. You see these big moves it's had here, 38.55, 37.55. You see the trade here. Cobra, let's see, there was another trade back here. This trade right here, these two trades were big, and then these trades back here were big, and so these big trades make up for the little losing trades. And so Cobra 3 is a strategy that I like. E-mini S&P. Night Trader is a strategy I like. You might want to manually watch this one. Where is it? Over here, Night Trader, E-mini S&P. You don't want to. If Night Trader had an outstanding night the other night, it went 9 for 10 and up 4,500. So this has been a highlight. You want to make sure that when you go into Night Trader, that you want to put your stop above the limit down move. So you can check the limit down move. You want to put your stop above that. You don't want to go lock limit down. It could come off a limit down, and then it could create some volatility. But you just don't want to get stopped above lock limit down. And I'm going to be writing some code to only take this trade if it's above 30 point, the stop loss amount above the limit down move. So you would get stopped out if you did take the trade. You get stopped out above the limit down move, and see how that affects the strategy. If it affects the strategy. So this has a 30-point stop loss, and so swing soybeans, Cobra Crude 2020, Cobra CT3, even S&P gap continuation. It's actually, this is we're trading the 2020 version now. I need to update that in this workspace. And SR counter trend gold. SR counter trend 3 gold, we'll trade that as well. So these are the strategies we trade. It's a selective strategies, and when we put these volatility filters in on the stock index strategies, there just won't be as many trades when volatility is like this, because there's just really no good way to trade a lot of these strategies when you're having 50-point moves in a 15-minute bars. We're just not really set up for that on an extended basis. On a short-term basis, yeah. So I never anticipated that volatility would increase this much, this fast across all markets. I did anticipate an increase, but not this much, this fast across all markets. And so those are some of the adjustments that we're going to make, and you'll be getting updates for that.